What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Finally, another episode of Your Cousins Are Critics. This is episode 17. And yeah, we're back to doing it on video. As maybe if you watched the last episode, that was our only audio episode, at least so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back to doing video because the fucking app wasn't working right on my phone, so I might need to get a new app.
Some people watch us like seeing our faces. They think you're...
I just did a fucking what's his name? Why am I blanking on his last name? Jim from The Office. Halford.
Yeah,
I just did a Jim Halford face. But
when I do it, I look like Robert De Niro.
dude, you do. Okay, I was thinking Robin Williams, but yeah, no, Robert De Niro though, definitely.
Yeah. Robin Williams too.
Nah. But anyways, okay, so yeah, so for today we are reviewing not what we originally planned, unfortunately, because that is my second favorite movie of all time. We were originally going to do The Whale, but now we are doing Brandon Cronenberg, who's the son of David Cronenberg, your favorite director, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing his son's film, Infinity Pool. I don't know if you can see that real well, but yeah, I don't have a DVD or Blu-ray of it, so I have to show the poster on the Wikipedia page. But real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and pull out the Whale DVD.
Okay.
And we'll give a quick thing on that, just because that was what we were originally going to do. I mean, there are many reasons why we didn't get to do it, but whatever. Yeah. Anyways, a little personal. I don't really want to get into it, but anyways. But
yeah, we didn't have a lot of time either, because last month was pretty rough month.
That's right. I mean, that's why it's taken so long to
Yeah.
release an episode. But anyways, but The Whale is my second favorite movie of all time. If you've seen my top 100 favorite movies list, this was my number 2 now. Beating out the movie that we watched, the first movie that we did for this channel, Taxi Driver. That was originally my number 2, and then this movie beat that. I bet you a lot of people might hate me for that, because apparently there's a lot of people that hate this movie, which I honestly don't get. But not because I'm biased towards it, but just I think it's a masterpiece of a film. But yeah, we did watch this movie. I did show Cade this movie. I did show him The Whale. And what were your thoughts over that overall?
Man, I think I didn't know what I was going into.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good movie, and I think it had...
if you can remember anything from
it.
It's been a while.
I think it could give people a lot of empathy, because we're not, as OB says, the character in The Whale.
I'm getting there.
No, you're not.
I'm kind of fat.
But, so I think in that whole conversation about, like, people's weight and stuff, people get kind of weird about it, because you got bros who are like, just fucking go to the gym or whatever, and I think this movie is great because it can really give the viewer a lot of empathy. And I wanted to say, though, because I was talking to you a while ago, the two most, like, my favorite part of the movie from a visual standpoint was
opening.
Was the first, like, 2 things I saw in the movie. Like, it was just shots of, like, the land and a bus. But everything looked so hazy and weird. I was like, wait, this movie looks like this? And then they moved on to the story and stuff. But yeah, those images have just kind of stuck in my brain. But yeah, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I feel like there's nothing I can really critique about it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's more of just like, this is a movie, and it has this to say, it has this message, and that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's its own thing.
What would you rate it?
Man, I'd probably give it like a 7 or 8. Probably 8. It's a good movie.
Thank you for saying 8.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I mean, will I watch it again? Doubt it, but it's a good movie.
Yeah. It's not a movie I would watch a lot, mostly because, I mean, it is in a very emotional movie, and really the only thing that makes me emotional in the film is actually the ending. That's like the only thing. There's like certain parts that maybe it would get some people, but
Yeah.
but the ending is what always gets me every single time, and that's like the only thing that makes me not want to watch it a lot. But you know, I mean, I'll definitely watch it at least twice a year if I can.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more than that, but you know, maybe 5 times a year. I don't know.
5,
4, 3, I don't know.
2, 1. 1.
Anyways, but yeah, I mean, second favorite movie of all time. Like I said, it's Brendan Fraser too. He deserved that Oscar, and I'm glad he was the only actor that wasn't in Everything Everywhere All at Once that didn't win that. Yeah.
Shout out to that quirky movie.
Oh man,
What a quirky movie. Finger hot dogs.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Anyways,
Shout out Jamie Lee Curtis, bro.
anyways, we're not here to talk about that movie, even though we just did kind of.
No.
Like I said, we're talking about Infinity Pool.
We're here to talk about Croatia. I've been thinking about Croatia like crazy ever since we watched this movie.
Is that the country in this?
I think I
Or
read
based on it?
Well, kind of. We can get into that later, but I think it was a joint Croatia,
I don't
Hungary,
know shit about
and
countries.
Canada production, because I think the Cronenbergs are Canadian, I believe.
Yeah, they are.
And so there's a lot of places there. Yeah, I was right.
There it is.
That's right.
Canada, Croatia, and Hungary.
Shout out my Eastern Bloc countries. We love you. We love you, baby.
Oh yeah, I should mention this is the most recent film that we're doing on the channel because this came out this year, early in the year.
Yeah.
2023. Yeah. Yep, it came out in
What month?
January.
Oh my god. You know what's crazy?
That's a good January horror film.
That's what I was about to say, because they always put the shit in January.
And I should mention a good January comedy as well. I don't know if it's a comedy. I'm trying to think. Was there funny stuff in it? I mean, there probably was something.
I think
I don't really remember laughing at like anything in the movie. I just remember laughing at some jokes that we were making.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know about in the movie.
I think Albin, I think it was his name, was how you pronounce it. It's kind of funny. It was
Was
Gabby's.
Gabby's. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think he was kind of funny, but it's more just his big fat smile.
I don't really remember him being funny, but yeah.
Yeah, it was more just his face, I think.
Anyways, I'll go and say at least 3 cast members. We got Alexander Skarsgård, Mia Goth, and the coolest name in Hollywood history, in my opinion, Cleopatra Coleman. I think that's. I want to marry a girl named Cleopatra. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll just call her Cleo. But yeah,
Cleo.
Letters to Cleo.
Me.
You ever heard Letters to Cleo? They were a '90s band.
That sounds familiar, but I don't think I've heard it.
What's that one song? Here and Now, I think was the name of it. If you heard it, maybe you'll know it. But
okay.
But yeah, Letters to Cleo. Anyway, shout out to Letters to Cleo.
Shout out.
I remember the lead singer. They had a female lead singer, and she was blonde. She kind of looked like fucking Angelica from Rugrats.
Oh,
with, like
really?
the fucking, those pigtails like on the sides.
Yeah.
Not like in the back, like on the sides. So, yeah, she kind of looked like that. At least in that video, she did. Anyways, but yeah, anyways. So yeah, this is a Cronenberg movie, but not David, of course, his son. Like I said, this guy likes David Cronenberg a lot. He just said that. I think it's his favorite director. I've only seen 2 Cronenberg movies. I've seen Videodrome once, and I watched Naked Lunch. We almost did a episode on that, but I don't know. I think I didn't really have anything to say about it, so we didn't do it.
Yeah.
But we did. We watched it at your house, I remember, and I liked it better than Videodrome, but at the same time, I wasn't all the way into it. It was very slow. I remember that, and it was kind of boring.
Yeah, it's not like it's not an action packed.
Yeah. Well,
movie.
No, I don't give a shit about action movies anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it doesn't. There's not like a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Big movement.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I liked some of like the creatures and whatnot, like the bug stuff,
and Benway.
I don't even remember that. You just
The
quote
best.
that all the time.
That's the only movie quote I remember. It's whenever he's like taking off the skin on the outside of his body. He was disguised as a woman, and he takes it off, and he says, "Benway!" And he's got a cigar. It's fantastic. Love that movie.
You said the only movie line. What about I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick
I don't
ass.
say that one anymore. I mean,
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
that one's like heavily quoted. I think Benway is mine because like I don't know anybody else who thinks about Benway. Who thinks about that scene? But I've seen Naked Lunch, Videodrome, Scanners, The Brood, and some of Shivers. But Shivers, in comparison to all the other ones, is like you can tell it's a student film, and it was funded. I think they were all funded by Canada, at least in part. But this one was like he was much younger, and I need to watch a lot more. But those ones, especially,
The Fly.
Yeah, I need to watch The Fly. But
Did you say Scanners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Videodrome and Naked Lunch are definitely my favorites out of those.
I think it was at the time when I borrowed Videodrome. I also borrowed Scanners, and I didn't watch that at all, though.
I don't know if you. I doubt that you would dig it.
Yeah.
The acting is weird in that movie.
Is it?
I wouldn't say it's good.
Yeah.
It's strange.
I am planning on doing even Brandon Cronenberg too, but I'm planning on doing a David Cronenberg ranking. I don't know when that would be because
It might be a while.
Some of his movies are hard, especially his early films are hard to find.
Yeah, you can borrow Shivers and be bored. You will not like Shivers. Promise.
Okay.
It's just crappy. It's just low quality.
I wonder if I'll like maybe I might like his non-horror films better, like History of Violence, Eastern Promises.
Yeah,
I might like
maybe.
those better. I don't know. I'm kind of curious about Crash. That sounds interesting to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so all right. So I guess we should start talking about this movie.
Okay.
Infinity Pool.
Well,
this is actually one of the rare occasions where we actually waited like a few days after we watched the movie. I think the only time before that we did that, I believe we did that for Easy Rider as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. But you know, Cabe got a refresher. He read some of the plot on Wikipedia. So
I did.
And I think I remember most stuff. You know, maybe if he brings up something, I'll be like, oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Or maybe while he's talking, I might come up with something, too, if he doesn't say it or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, as far as the plot goes with this, I think there's some pretty, like, easy points, and I'm just going to kind of run through it pretty quickly.
I will say, like, the story is definitely kind of seems like something David Cronenberg would do.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'll if you know Cronenberg, then you'll see it here.
Like even though I haven't seen very many of his movies, I was kind of like going like even while we were watching, I was like I had like Brandon going, "Look at me, Daddy, I'm just like you."
Yeah, yeah. I had similar thoughts, but whenever sort of the setting was in place. But I'll go ahead and jump in it. So, the movie takes place in a made-up country, and what's interesting about it is it seems like it is basically the former Soviet Union meets like tropical weather. Because the people there almost seem kind of Latin American, but then some of them seem more like they're from the old Eastern Bloc countries or the Baltics or something. And so it's a made-up island, and our main character, James, and his wife, Em, are on vacation. They're at this resort, and this resort is gated. There's guards, there's barbed wire, and they're told if they go out into the actual countryside, out of the gates, that it is very dangerous for them. It is very dangerous for foreigners. Because violence will be committed against them. They might get mugged or whatever.
Yeah, and also there's a death penalty there in that country.
Oh, yes, yeah. The crime is really strict there.
Yeah, for the crime.
Yeah. I mean, if they're...
Sorry if that was off topic.
Oh, no, yeah, no. If they get into trouble in the town or in the countryside and caught by the police, there is a death penalty there. That they're very strict.
Which is very important to the story.
Yeah. And then, so they're doing their thing. Obviously, Em and James, the fire of their relationship is not what it once was. He's a writer, but he hasn't wrote in many years, and he's trying to reignite that flame, or really this is his last gasp, his last attempt to restart his career. And one day they meet, or James meets a woman named Gabby, who's played by Mia Goth, and
Alexander Skarsgård plays James.
Yeah. So she apparently has read his book and likes it, and is kind of flirting with him from the get-go. And it turns out she's married to a dude named Albin, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
And who plays him?
I don't know his name or...
Jali Lespert, perhaps. Was he a Frenchman? He is a Frenchman.
He is French, yeah.
He is a Frenchman. Look at him. And so they go on a double date into town, I believe, into the Chinese restaurant. And they kind of become couple friends, but obviously there's weird tensions between everybody. And then the next day they decide, let's go out, rent a car from a friend of Albin's, and then, drink and party all day on the beach. It's supposed to be beautiful in this made-up country. And so they go and do that. They're partying and drinking a lot of wine and running around and stuff. And things get weird. I will mention this, yes, that our boy Alexander Skarsgård, or James in the movie, needs to go pee. So he does. And Gabby, reminder, played by Mia Goth, jacks him off, like right as he's finished peeing. And I mentioned this like 5 times during we were watching this movie, she is straight-faced. Not like, we're being sexy. I'm saying straight-faced, okay? Weird. Okay. Now, everybody else is really drunk, and James is honestly drunk too, but maybe less than the others. So he offers to drive back, and it's nighttime now. And so they're driving back to the resort, and for some reason the lights on this vehicle just start going out, and he's trying to turn them back on, and they stay out for a second, and he ends up running over a citizen of this country, and they kill him, or James kills him. So then they just leave. They go back to the resort, and everyone's shook and horrified by the events of the previous night. And the next day, the state police come up, immediately arrest James, and take him into the city for questioning and everything. Now, they kind of force him to plead guilty. But the I don't know what his character was. He was like the sheriff, police chief kind of guy.
Oh yeah, that one dude.
Yeah, when you find it, let me know. But the police leader, I don't know what they called him in the movie, but he
it was a detective Thresh.
Oh, that's
was
right.
His name.
That's
played by Thomas
Kretschmann.
He's German.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
That guy.
Yeah, Detective Thresh kind of forces him to plead guilty, and this is where things get interesting. So he says his country is a little bit different than other countries, and tourism is a big part of how this country makes money. So to tourists, they offer a sort of an escape route from the death penalty, because drunk driving and murdering somebody, that would get you the death penalty there. And so he says, James, for a decent amount of money, we can just make a clone of you, and then that clone of you can be put to death and murdered by the son or the brother of who he killed.
Yeah.
And so that's what he does. He pays the state to make a clone out of him. He goes and gets his mold taken or whatever, and then they create this new being that is exactly like James. Tie him up in sort of a barn area, and then James and M and a bunch of other, I guess it was the family of the dude who he murdered, watched this little boy stab the clone of James repeatedly with a knife until he's dead. So, that's insane. Okay. Then soon after this, Gabby basically introduces James into this group of sort of rich people. It seems
like at least 2 other couples.
Yeah, and one's a doctor, blah blah blah, and other prestigious people. And it turns out that there's more to this group than just being a group of rich people. They've all have had clones in the past. They've all done crimes in a foreign country and have gotten away with it completely. So this is where the movie escalates completely, where he goes from being more or less a normal guy, normal dude, into someone who is willing to do violence, and then someone who enjoys doing violence. And so this group of foreigners, really at the whims of whatever they want, they decide to get violent with people. Like they go to, I believe, the dude who owns the resort or whatever, and they beat him up and threaten to shoot him and all these other things. And time and time again, they get into some sort of violent action, and they end up murdering somebody, or something bad happens. Then they pay for another clone to be made and to be murdered for them. And so, and there's this sort of strange drive by Gabby especially into really changing James into something different. Like they have him hallucinate, they give him like weird psychedelic drugs, they all have sex and an orgy and all these crazy things. And they drive him away from his fiance, and well, his fiance kind of wants to leave anyway.
I'm trying to remember. I think before that whole like orgy thing, she did leave.
Yeah.
I think what messed her up was watching the clone
get murdered,
killed, yeah.
and him and James not care about it at all.
Right.
So,
we'll talk about.
We
might talk about that scene with the clone dying, because I do have something to say that was pretty crazy.
We'll get to all the details later.
Right.
But so basically, they pushed James to a limit where they ended up buying another clone of him from the police station. And they put a bag over this person's head, and they said, "This is Detective Thresh, beat him up." And he starts beating up this person, and it turns out to be him.
He's pissing on him, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was degrading and awful. And this freaks him out. He runs away from the crew. The crew kind of belittles him, especially Gabby calls him like a little baby or whatever. And the next day, he tries to leave. He's like, "This is not for me. I need to get my passport. I'm going." They follow him and stop him from leaving, and he tries to run off. They shoot him in the leg. He gets away for a minute. He's in a farmhouse with actual people from this country, and they treat him well. They're not the monsters that everybody else has been describing. And but the crew comes back, and they have a dog. And that dog is James on all fours, naked. And they try to get James to fight and kill this dog. And eventually, he does, because they sick the dog on him and the dog attacks him. And he murders the dog. He murders himself. And then what happens after that?
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay. After he kills the dog, Gabby, tells him to come here and blah blah blah, and she pulls her breast or boob, tit, whatever you want to say, out, and I think she uses like his blood that was like on it, like rubs it on her nipple and like breastfeeds him, and like he's like, it's okay, little baby.
Yes. And then after that, the next day is the day where everyone's leaving, right?
Yeah.
So it's the end of the good weather season in this country, so all the foreigners, it's time for them to leave. And they're on the bus heading to the airport, and everybody's normal. Everybody is wearing like normal street person clothes, like what me and Jimmy are wearing.
Right.
They're not as rich as they they don't dress like they did when they were on the island. And
you did leave out something.
Okay.
But I'll say it. After
okay.
you're done. Sorry.
And everyone's having just normal conversations about, oh, what are you gonna do when you get back? Meanwhile, they've just murdered like multiple people. They've like murdered their clones. They've caused all this havoc in this country, and everyone's cool with it except for James, and he's feeling pretty, at the very least, hungover. And everybody leaves but James. He decides to stay at the resort, sits in a chair. Like I said, the good season is gone. Now it's rainy, and then in hell, and the movie ends on the rain hitting James's face after all the violence he's committed. And that's a synopsis.
You know, I didn't think about it until just now,
Yeah.
but I bet you a big reason why he didn't go back, he didn't want to go. Well, I think him and Em were having problems anyway.
Oh yeah, they were.
But he didn't want it. But I can't remember. Did they break up?
That's kind of up in the air. I think she'd probably take him back.
Yeah. Well, I think he was ashamed that he didn't want to go back to her because of stuff he did, and he's just. That's why he's. I think that's a big reason why he stayed there, or at least a reason.
Well,
why
yeah,
he
was
there.
consumed by. I think he was consumed by all the things that he did. Like once he passed that threshold, he just couldn't leave it. Yeah. Fucking insane. Because I was like, okay, I know Brandon Cronenberg's probably pretty weird or whatever. I didn't watch. What's his other movie? I haven't watched it yet.
There's one called Possessor, and there's another one too.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched Possessor yet. I want to, but I knew he was probably going to be weird and funky. But when there was fucking body doubles and clones, I was like, my mouth fucking dropped. I can't believe it.
I can't pronounce
Let me see.
this name. Hold on.
Antiviral?
Antiviral.
Yeah.
2012.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Was it ways back?
I don't reckon. Oh, Malcolm McDowell's in it. Nice. Malcolm McDowell's the only actor I recognize.
Really funny. But yeah, so what should we talk about now?
Well, okay. There was something you did leave out that I do think is kind of important, especially because you did mention something about it, but you didn't mention what happens later on. So like he said earlier, whenever James and Gabby first meet, Gabby tells him, that she's a big fan and she's read his book like a bunch of times.
Oh yeah.
But later on, when James is trying to leave and he's on the bus, and then Gabby and the others stop him. Gabby has a gun, and and anyways. After he gets off the bus, they're like fucking having a march in front while the car's like moving really slow. Gabby's on the hood with the gun, and she's
eating chicken or something. It looks like she's eating KFC.
Yeah. Something I don't remember. And she's they're just torturing this guy. Just humiliating. How do you say that word? Humiliating.
Well, now I don't even know how to say it. Humiliating.
Him, and all that shit, and then she says to him, I never read your book, and he's like, what? You didn't read my and I forgot what else she says. She says something just trash, and you're just an author that no one really gave a shit about. You got some bad reviews.
Yeah,
I think she was even reading.
She read a
bad
bad review. Yeah, it was really funny. The review
out
basically
loud
called
to
him
him.
pretentious, and it was really funny.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and man, I gotta say, I would just go ahead and say that scene, whenever they fucking stop him on the bus, that was
It's
whenever
fucked up.
I was like going, what the fuck is going on? I mean, of course,
Yeah.
there was a lot of other weird shit before that, but that was the movie where I was completely, taken off guard, and I didn't know, I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah.
And, I mean, of course, I knew these people were weird, but not like that, like crazy. Like, I mean, kind of crazy, but you know what I mean. Like, not like, well,
You thought,
I can't really explain.
I guess that
I was going to say harmless, but no.
that brings up a good point.
Because obviously they kill people.
Yeah, so I think that brings up a good point though, because the deal with these people is like they not only do they want to, they're able to wreak havoc in this foreign country, but they want to, like many people who are like this in real life, and I don't even mean like murderers, I mean like kind of just manipulative like people, is they're trying to pull people down to their level, and that's what they did to James. Was like the whole point, the whole way she manipulated him whenever she talked about the book. She manipulated him whenever she jacked him off or whatever. Then she got him drunk a lot, and then got him high a lot, had sex with him then. You know, this whole thing has just been manipulation into turning James into one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it was really interesting because I think, man, like, some people in real life are kind of like that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I've met some weird people in my time, and some of these characters did remind me of them.
Really?
Yeah, like, these people weren't violent or anything,
Right.
but I could tell by just looking at them that they would do whatever they could to get what they want, and sometimes that means, like, changing another person to get there, you know?
Let's see.
But this movie's fucking crazy, dude. And
It is.
I'm so proud of Mr. Brandon Cronenberg because, like, I see like the connections between his father's work and him, but I think there is a pretty big world of difference. Do I like that difference? You know, sometimes.
I just thought of something similar. So, we're going a little bit off topic. I just want to mention this. But I'm kind of thinking maybe Cronenberg in the film world might be like the version of Jacob Knoll. Brad Knoll's son.
Oh, yeah.
Because was it that band he was in called Law?
Oh, yeah, he's in Law, yeah.
I mean, we're both pretty big Sublime fans of the band Sublime.
Yeah.
And Brad Knoll's son has a band called Law, and I remember you showed me some of it, and I'm like thinking it's not that much different from Sublime.
No, because he sounds very
right,
and even looks like pretty similar. Brandon Cronenberg
there's
does
a
not
son.
look. Brandon Cronenberg does not look like his dad at all.
Doesn't I don't know what either of them look like, to be honest.
Brandon Cronenberg is much more round faced.
Oh yeah.
His dad is like sharp, scary looking.
Huh. Does Brandon look kind of normal-ish, or?
They both look weird.
Oh, okay.
They both look weird, which also makes a lot of sense. But, yeah, no, I think my favorite part of it, honestly, is like the undertone of like this weird foreign country that is said to be like really treacherous and bad for foreigners, like really dangerous for foreigners, and it turns out when the foreigners get arrested by the police, they have an exit, you know, but the people in that country probably do not have that same luxury. They can't pay for their double. And also, like, all the people he met who were normal citizens of this country were just like normal people. Yeah, it was really interesting. And just all these foreigners like running around destroying somebody else's land, and they just spend a bunch of money to just hang out there for a while in a resort that has all these like cheap representations of like cultures. Like they had the those masks, and they had the like
the Slipknot looking mask,
and then they had the Bollywood like India dances, which was really like stereotypical. And then the one that you and I are both thinking about is such a weird part in the scene. Like in the movie, you missed it.
I missed it at first because I think I went over to get my phone that was charging from the other side of the room, and like you were like going, "What the fuck?" It was, dude, come here.
It was crazy.
And I had to rewind it. And I'm like, and I don't even remember if I even caught it the first time I saw this movie because I don't remember that at all. Maybe I did. I might have said what the fuck, but then I just forgot about it, I guess. Because it was just like a one-shot thing that lasted for like 2 seconds or something.
Yeah, and that one-shot thing was when he was trying to make his escape and go on the bus. He was in the lobby, and like I said, this resort tries to bring in different cultures and make the resort something that's worldly. But the only way that they can do that is by racist stereotypes. So they have these Jewish dudes with like what looks like hot dog noses and like big like Roblox style curly hair.
And, oh yeah, those like the thing that goes down.
Yeah, with the little curls. Like
the curls. That's what I was talking about.
It was insane. I was like, that is fucking crazy. I was like, damn, man.
Did they have glasses too?
I don't remember. I was stuck on the hot dog nose. And I was like, wow, like this is like such a good critique of one resorts and American perceptions of like foreign countries. I really appreciate that of it. And that's what really makes me think about his dad.
Yeah. I just want to make this clear. I don't mean to be, whatever the word is. I don't want to say racist, but like,
the R word.
Yeah. I don't know. The reason why I was laughing at that because it's just weird and fucked up.
Oh, well, yeah.
And I just gotta, I don't know. I kind of have a feeling that maybe some people take it kind of differently about me laughing about something like that.
Especially
because sometimes, like even I'll give an example. In American History X, fucking Ethan Suplee's character, the dude from My Name Is Earl, the big dude, whenever he's singing that racist song in the van, I'm laughing not with him. I'm laughing at him.
It's so absurd
because he's just so ridiculous. And his character in that movie is kind of funny to me, just because. Well, for one thing, Ethan Suplee's funny. He's in the Kevin Smith movie, some of the Kevin Smith movies and whatnot.
Well, he's just an oaf. He's stupid.
Yeah. Well, that character.
He's
was
Skinhead Patrick. He's Skinhead Patrick.
Skinhead Patrick.
Yeah,
exactly.
Funny. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
So that's. Yeah, I'm just using that example. It's just like, and Blazing Saddles, which some people might say that's a racist movie. That's actually making fun of racist people, and I'm laughing at those people, who are racist and whatnot. It's just that kind of stuff. It's just like, and like that thing in Infinity Pool with the Jewish thing, it's just like it's just so weird and fucked up, and it just makes me like, what? Why?
Because the point of it is not to say, the point of it is not to like support racism, but critique this version of it. Yeah, that's the whole point of it.
I don't know if
also free Palestine, but go on.
Free who?
Well, yeah. We'll talk later.
Okay.
But
Palantine from the guy from
Palpatine?
No, the guy from Taxi Driver that was running for president.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hey, we made another connection to our first episode.
It's true. One going on 17. But yeah.
I just wanted to mention that maybe that was
unnecessary.
But
Nah.
I just wanted to, just in case. So I kind of feel like I can easily offend some people.
Some people are easily offended, though, too, because it's like, if you watch the movie, you would understand that it's not.
I'm very ignorant, so,
I got your back, homie.
Uncultured, too. You knew a lot more of the stuff of the country, the stuff about cultures and the countries and whatnot in this film, so more about than me. That's why, I don't really have much to say about that.
I got you.
But anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So, what else should we talk about? What, like certain scenes, and whatnot.
Man, I mean, what do you think?
Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, there's two scenes I want to talk about that actually both involve the cloning. So let's go back to the first scene where James, is getting cloned for the first time, and him and M watches. Man, there was one thing about that like really kind of disturbed me about that. It was the fact that the clone was actually screaming, "M, please help me!" And I'm like, holy shit, because when they clone these people, they clearly have like the same memories and whatnot of the actual people, which I kind of like that idea, honestly, about like some stuff that like has clones. The clones will have the same feelings, same memories, same everything, and they think they are that person. It's like Buzz Lightyear in the first Toy Story, thinking that he's the real Buzz Lightyear, but that was like, that kind of fucked me up, honestly.
What messed me up is like they're in like a barn or something, and there's not like glass.
Barn.
They're when they're
killing them.
Yeah, it was like a barn or some like weird building.
Oh, okay.
There was like soot on the floor or like
hay.
Hay on the floor.
Yeah,
and stuff. And there's no like guard. There's no like window or something watching the execution. You're just like there. Yeah, you're just like 20 feet from.
There's like they're sitting like in
some stands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's like a fucking rodeo or something.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Like a ball game.
Yeah, it was so strange. It was like the clone can see you just as you see it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was really freaky.
Also, like the whole thing with like the family of the guy that they killed being there too. That's kind of like how like prison executions do. They'll invite people involved in like if someone murders somebody, they'll bring in the family of that person who's murdered and have the family watch the guy who murdered their son or whatever get executed, which is understandable.
Well, this goes a step further. This has the son of the dude who got murdered.
Right.
Kill him.
Yeah.
So this goes like even a step further. And
You know what was weird is that I don't even remember that kid at all whenever the first time I saw it. Like that was kind of new to me, or at least, because I just don't remember. I don't remember him being there at first. I don't remember him being the one killing him. And also, we'll go back forward to the scene where it was right before, whenever James is in the barn by those farm people after, Gabby and them, he escaped them, he's shot, and he's like having like a dream or a hallucination or something of that kid killing him.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember that either the first time I saw it. Like, I have no memory of that kid in general at all. Like, I don't know why I don't remember that, but I didn't. And, I mean, I remember all the stuff with Gabby and them, but I don't remember that kind of,
Yeah.
And, like, that was pretty crazy. Like, seeing that, like, almost for the first time again.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It just goes to show that Gabby and them are, the craziest, not the only, at least the only crazy thing about this movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just like you said about the whole thing with the cultures and stuff of like the Jewish people and whatnot. Like that's just so weird.
Yeah, it was like pretty. It wasn't like
I didn't even catch
in the forefront. It was like really in passing.
I didn't even catch that the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know exactly about the whole countries and stuff, what was going on. But this country you said is like made up, but it's like tropical or whatnot.
Yeah, it was like he mixed a few countries together.
Yeah,
is what it felt like to me.
I didn't even notice that on the first watch. I was just focused on the story, or kind of focused on the story, at least the characters.
Yeah, he like mixed up a few countries that at least in the past and in the present, like the United States media and our government has said are our enemies and are dangerous for people to live in.
Yeah, and
that's not always true. Anyway, it seems to me like he mixed up a few quote unquote like enemies of the United States and turned them into this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty.
I really did like I was, because other than that, this, like, if it wasn't for the strong setting and the clone thing, like this a lot of this is kind of run of the mill horror movie. Other than that, I think, but I think the cloning aspect and the setting, and I think it adds a lot to it. It really, that's where the creativity shines for me, at least.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another scene I want to talk about. It's the second time James gets cloned.
Yeah.
And but it's not just him. It's Gabby and what's his Albin, and the rest of them,
the whole crew.
It was whenever they first, all of them together first went to. I think what did they do? They went to like this one house and like fucking tortured these people.
Yeah, I think he was like the owner of the resort. Maybe.
Who was?
The dude who they tortured, the dude who was having sex, and then he just had his wiener out. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't even going to say that.
Because I started laughing about me laughing about it. Really
okay. Anyways, so, they get caught and whatnot. I forgot, didn't like Alvin get shot or something too?
Yeah, he did. He got shot by the police, in the legs.
The police, okay.
Mm. The police or some sort of guard, security or whoever shot him.
So, they get caught, and first it shows them in this room, and they're like wearing like these white clothes, kind of like an asylum or something.
Yeah.
And the whole room kind of looks like they're like in this fucking solitary kind of thing, I think, is what I remember. And they're like talking, like just like, oh, what are they going to do to us or something, I think. Mm-hmm. And then we get to the scene where by the looks of it, it's them getting killed and shit. I think James was the first one too. Yeah, and I remember like Gabby, I think it was like shouting his name. It was like James, no! And then like I think they like slit his throat or something.
Yeah, they did.
And then I think it was all in one take, or not, maybe not all in one take, but whenever he gets his
throat slit,
it slowly pans over to. And by the way, this is in the same room that we were talking about, the barn or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The first one. Slowly pans over. And there they are, the real people, and they're just like cheering and clapping,
clapping at their own like clone murder.
Yeah, and then the rest of them gets their throats slit, and it's. I remember when I first saw that, I was like, you know what? That was the scene that made me say, I'm in this movie. I officially like this movie.
Yeah,
that was the scene because. That was very well done.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, maybe it's just because on a rewatch, I did like it a little bit better the first time I saw it. Yeah. But then again, that was the second time I saw it. But so it wasn't as good, but I still thought it was pretty cool though.
It was one of those things where like I saw how much was left in the movie.
Yeah.
Before that scene happened, so I predicted. I was like, oh, okay, there's clones.
Me, on the other hand, I mean, I wasn't even thinking that. I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, while, he was getting his throat slit. And then it doesn't have... I'm like, of course.
Cronenberg,
and I'm like, you are a fucking genius. Like, I think that is probably my favorite scene in the movie. Just because of just how well that was. How done... Yeah. How good it was. Let's just say that. Like, damn. Mm-hmm. That was so cool.
That was really good,
Yeah.
Man. But what other scenes do we got? Well, I was just like, what do you think about the hallucination scenes?
Whenever they're, like, tripping out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that. Man, I mean, I'm kind of mixed on them.
Me too.
Because, I mean, they're very well done, made. Or I can't even fucking talk, but but you know what I mean. Like they're done very well, and like it's all cool visually and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
It's a little. Sometimes it's a little too stroby.
it is.
For my
It's like
taste,
very
yeah.
stroby and
Yeah.
shit.
I was like,
And like there's just like a whole bunch of shit going on, like, you know, flashing and whatnot.
Yeah.
I remember I was looking at you, you were like going like this, and
that's what I'm
and
saying.
like I'm kind of afraid to get a seizure from that kind
Well,
of shit.
I'm just like, dude, I want to watch your movie, so don't do something that makes me like not watch your movie.
Right.
You know,
I remember-
I didn't like that at all.
I remember whenever we were watching, not that long ago, we were watching Candyman again, and the ending, which I love the ending.
Yeah,
the ending is fucking awesome. If you haven't seen Candyman, that is a fucking
Fantastic,
amazing ending. But there was a part in that ending where it did like go, it was like all flashy and stuff.
Yeah,
And I mean, it looked cool, but like, you know, like especially with Virginia Madsen, like how she looked with her hair short and whatnot, she looked kind of sinister looking and whatnot, kind of sexy too. But that's beside the point. I love Virginia Madsen. Anyways, but you know, it's just like how, like you say, stroby.
it takes you out of
looks.
it
Yeah,
because it's like, oh shit, my eyes hurt. I'm not scared.
yeah,
My eyes hurt.
exactly.
That's like, it's the same thing. Like whenever we watched, what was that one movie in Disneyland or Disney World?
Oh yeah, we watched this movie, which I didn't like as much as the first time I saw it, but Escape from Tomorrow, which was a low budget horror film that these people made in Disneyland without Disneyland's permission.
Yeah.
And I will say, I do respect it for that aspect that they did it, and it's pretty well made for what it was, you know. But yeah, was there like some of that in it too, with like all the flashy stuff?
There was some flashing, but I moreover like it's not their fault either because they're shooting outside.
Yeah,
But it was just so bright and like hard to look at sometimes that it was like, okay, you're just taking me out of your movie.
yeah.
Like my eyes just hurt. Like and it's I don't know. It's really important to make a movie like attractive to the eye. But
I'm trying to remember if Eraserhead had any of that kind of stuff.
maybe a little bit, but Eraserhead's
There was a part I remember at the end whenever the baby, whenever like it's like fucking like going up in the air, and it's like there's like these shots of the baby's head, and there was like kind of some flashing moments, but I don't think it was like kind of like that. It wasn't like I think it was a little better on the eyes, and I think mostly because it was darker, you know. Looking.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah,
and so
yeah.
But
Shout out Eraserhead.
favorite movie of all time, just in case I said The Whale,
really good.
and then I wonder if I'm the only guy on the planet whose top two are The Whale and then Eraserhead.
Probably. Yeah. I'd say so. Yeah,
Taxi Driver's number 3 too.
Holy Mountain and Videodrome. Yeah, I don't think there's another one of those out there.
That makes a little more sense.
It does. But,
but
those are very specific.
Videodrome's your number 2?
Yeah.
Because I think you said Holy Mountain's one.
Yeah, I'll leave it there.
I do like Holy Mountain better than
Holy Mountain is like really fun.
Yeah. Kind of wish we did that one because I remember you showed me that movie.
It'd be a 2-hour. It'd be a 2-hour podcast. It'd be insane because I'd be like, all right, all this shit means this. I'd be losing my mind.
I don't even know what
all
the
this,
fuck that movie means.
The symbolism.
I just liked it.
The symbolism
because it was weird.
Is so fantastic. I can't believe they pulled it off. It's just fantastic. It's crazy.
I gotta watch that movie again. I remember I said I think at one point, whenever we watched it, I said I liked it, but I don't know if I would ever watch it again or something like that. I actually do want to.
It's fantastic. I can't get over it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, but
it's more than a movie.
I said the same thing about mid-90s whenever I first saw that movie, but I watched it again and I even liked it better. So I might have said the same about Swiss Army Man too.
Oh yeah,
but maybe.
Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man actually ended up in my top 100.
That's cool.
It was a little close, like in the 90s, but yeah,
it's definitely an A24 film.
I liked it better than Everything Everywhere.
Oh yeah,
the same guys.
Fair enough.
But, but anyways,
Cronenberg.
Off topic as we always do.
Cronenberg.
What else? What else should we say?
The difference between Cronenberg, well, early Cronenberg.
David and Brandon?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The difference between an early Daddy Cronenberg, and I mean like pre-Videodrome, pre-Naked Lunch and The Fly, and Brandon is like the acting is really great in Brandon's movies.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's up with
I thought James Woods was good.
he's good. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And even, what's his name in Naked Lunch?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Peter Weller?
Yeah, that's what
RoboCop?
that's what I'm saying. It's like the later movies, like
Okay, you're talking about the ones earlier.
yeah,
the
like
Videodrome.
Scanners. Brood has good actors in it, but the lead guy in the Brood is like dry as fuck. Scanners, dude, is dry as fuck. It's insane. It's kind of it's unbelievable. It kind of
Like bad acting?
like
Is it like...
I don't even
When
know.
you say dry, you mean like kind of like deadpan, kind of just like...
Yes.
No emotion. Kind of like Mia Goth whenever she was jerking off.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like not human. Not
There
human.
we go. That's something Brandon did. Took from...
But
His dad, I mean.
I don't. But the thing is, with those old ones, I don't know if they're on purpose or not because they very well could have been. But anyway, the acting in this movie is very good. I think.
I can see that being on purpose, actually.
I think they might have been, to be honest. But the acting in this movie is fantastic. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's solid.
If I'm gonna be honest, I think Mia Goth was the best.
Probably, yeah. She had the
Like,
most range, I think.
Yeah, I mean, she was good from the beginning, but like once like they fucking got James while they're like on the straight and shit, she was like being really fucking crazy.
Evil.
Even at times, I wouldn't say this in a bad way, but kind of annoying-ish too.
Oh,
with
yeah,
her
she
voice.
sucks.
James! You know?
She sucks,
but
dude.
not in a bad way. You know, I no offense to Mia Goth herself, she
Well,
pulled it off very well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, yeah, she sucks, dude, and so does every other person in this movie, basically.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
really, I think M is probably the most innocent one in the film.
Yeah, because she dibs. She's like,
Yeah.
this is whack, dude.
Yeah, and like she did nothing wrong in
No.
the film, and so
Yeah,
like,
Mary James. That was the worst thing she ever did.
But James, I mean, who starts out as a normal dude, you know, by the end of it, he's all fucked up. So you know,
Yeah, he let himself do a lot of things, man.
it wouldn't surprise me if he killed himself later on or something. I don't know, but
I don't know. That's dark, but
sorry,
for real though.
sorry, but I mean, I wouldn't
That's
be
dark.
surprised. but yeah, Mia Goth is great. Alexander Skarsgård was really good too. I saw him in The Northman, and which I fucking love that movie. We gotta do the.
I know. I
Northman
never watched
someday.
it. Never watched it.
Robert Eggers, who did The Lighthouse,
The Lighthouse.
and The Witch as well, which you've seen those.
You don't like me, lobster.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch The Lighthouse again. It's been a while.
I've watched that movie maybe 2 or 3 times. It's very
I've only
good.
seen it once. I liked it,
was like-
but I wasn't like head over heels for it. I mean, I liked how weird it was, and it kind of reminded me of Eraserhead in a few moments.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
but I didn't think it was as good as Eraserhead. but what is? But anyways, Holy Mountain.
Holy Mountain.
But I really liked The Witch whenever I saw that. I actually tried watching that one time, and I didn't finish it. I don't know. I think it was just maybe in the mood I was in. I just wasn't in the right mood for it.
I'm not in the mood for Eggers very much because his movies are like they're kind of heavy in a weird way.
Yeah, The Northman, which isn't a horror film, but you know, it's more of a fantasy
Erotica.
action. Not really. There's a couple scenes, but surprisingly, there's no tits in it.
Fuck.
Anya
dude.
Taylor-Joy's in it.
I'm never gonna watch that movie. I want to watch movies for the boobies. Don't you know?
Anyway, but no, The Northman's fucking awesome. That's actually my favorite of his. And
Oh, yeah.
that was on my top 100 as well. Down on the bottom, but yeah. Yeah, that was.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, that's actually I think a lot of people might say that's their least favorite, but I
That's
really
because they're
liked it.
pansies, dude.
Oh, like horror film.
They're straight up pansies, dude.
But
Come on.
but anyways, Alexander Skarsgård, back to him. Sorry.
You're very good at of derailing this train. This podcast train.
I don't know if I might have liked him better in Northman though, but I thought he was very, very good as James in this movie.
Pathetic.
I actually like him better than his brother, which Bill I've seen in a really cool horror movie called Barbarian that we might need to do sometime also. But that one, I liked him in that one, but when I see his face, I'm just thinking, I'm like, my God, he's weird looking. and then I see Alexander Skarsgård, and he's like, yeah, he's much more handsome.
He's a handsome man. Yeah, his brother's just kind of more quirky.
I kind of just see
he's quirked up.
Yeah, like honestly, when I see Bill, I just see Pennywise because wasn't he was Pennywise? The new Pennywise, not Tim Curry, but. I do have a Tim Curry Pennywise action figure up there. I don't know if you can see him, but
you can, but you probably don't know what it is.
Yeah, you can kind of see him a little, but
what's he say?
Is your refrigerator running? It is. Well, you better go catch it.
He's legendary.
Do you have Prince Albert in a can? I love the original It. I don't care what you say. I never even seen the remakes, honestly.
They suck.
With Bill.
They suck.
I kind of want to watch them.
The first one's alright, and then the second one just blows shit out.
And that sucks because it has Jessica Chastain in that one. I like her. But beside the point. Anyways, we're just always going off topic and shit. I think I was talking about Alexander.
Are you gonna go to Croatia after this? Croatia?
If it's anything like that, yes. No, I'm just kidding.
Me and the boys are going to Croatia for a bit.
Okay. Alright. There is a thing. I should have mentioned it while I was talking about the fucking scene with, actually, whenever they were all getting killed and then it pans over to the real ones, I should have mentioned this, but there was a part, I think it was the first time James met Gabby and Albin's friends. They were talking, I don't know, maybe it was Albin or maybe it was the doctor dude, I can't remember, but one of them said to him, he's like, don't you worry that that you might not be the real you, that they killed the real you and you're just
and you're the clone.
And that's
a fucking stoner ass conversation.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'd be like, shit, that don't matter because I'm alive.
Yeah. I guess, but that did get me thinking though. It's like, shit, like, okay, maybe those people did kill the clone. However, whenever they got later on, they got that clone. While they said it was the Thresh dude. Yeah. What if that was the real James, and then there's the clone that they were fucking making? I think that's more believable because of those kind of people.
I think either way, regardless, what they're talking about there is like the metaphor of like they did kill the real James. Because after that moment where the clone got murdered, this new one started to exist. For all intents and purposes, he is the new James because he'll never be what he was before, as like pretty much as an innocent dude. Now he is the devil, or committing crimes, committing big fat crimes and not owning up to them. So. Yeah, I think that's the undercurrent of this movie as well, is like sometimes people do things where they can't look back, where they can't go back to the way they were before. I mean, it's like having a kid. It's like, okay, well, because if I had a kid right now, I would change immediately. I'd be like, okay, well, my life is this kid. I probably won't play guitar as much. My whole life would change.
That would definitely kill you.
And it would. And it would. I would never be able to go back. And so it's the same thing with this violence. The amount of violence that they committed was insane, and that's not something you can go back from. So he'd probably rather just drown in all the rain that was coming down on this fake country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for that, man, I love that. I think that's really nice. I remember I was looking up people's opinions on it.
Oh, yeah.
And they were just like, this shit's stupid. I don't understand.
Then again, they love Dr. Sleep.
I know. And I'm like, guys, just think a little bit. Not everything is supposed to be given to you. And it's not like this movie's really complicated, I don't think. It's just like, you'll find these answers if you look for them. And so, yeah. But I think this movie rocks. I think it's good. I'm proud of Cronenberg. Yeah. BC, as they call him.
BC. Yeah. Was there anything else? I think I have one more thing I want to say.
You do your thing. I don't have anything too specific.
I also really like the whole effects of the cloning thing, where the movie's called Infinity Pool, and they're literally like in this this fucking pool with like this red shit and whatnot. I mean, well, okay, I was gonna show that, but that's not really, you can't really see it real well.
Yeah, it's too dark.
But this might take a minute. I'm gonna pause it so I can find a good image. Okay, so what I was talking about is I'll just show this picture right here, which kind of honestly looks like something that would be in a weird David Cronenberg movie. Yeah, it does. Like, so, but I really like that, and this is fucking 2023. I mean, maybe made in 2022, but yeah, like that's pretty cool, and that has to be practical, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is really awesome. I mean, of course, there's some fair amount of CGI and whatnot in this film too, but like, but that is just really cool. Also, look at this picture.
Oh, they did weird molds. What is that? That's weird. I like that though.
Yeah. This is a picture of Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård holding like these Asian molds of the
very weird
faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like that aspect. Of course, that's on the poster, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool movie by a cool guy.
Yeah.
I like it. With a lot of good statements. A lot of cool, good statements. I dig.
Yeah.
Boy, I dig.
So, so you can't think of anything else?
Man,
I forgot about this.
Oh,
the
yeah,
mouth
I love
guard.
that scene. I love that.
His eyes. That was whenever they were cloning him. He had to wear that thing in there. There's like a board game or something where you have that thing in your mouth and you have to like say certain words and the people have to guess it. Oh. It's pretty ridiculous.
That's really crazy.
But yeah,
man, I think.
Also, here's some of the mask there.
Oh yeah,
the kind of look like the Slipknot mask.
Yeah. I think the masks could have been more interesting, to be honest. Yeah. I think he rides the line.
I forgot there was a band that was there at the resort that was like wearing those,
yeah.
and they stole those masks.
Yeah,
and that's whenever they were robbing that place. But
I think certain aspects of this movie could have been more stylized, and that's why I like his dad so much, is because it's very heavily stylized and. It's just you get transported into a world. I was very close to being transported, but I think if some of the props were different, it would have helped. Like if those masks were maybe a different style. They were creepy and cool in this movie, but I think they could have been creepy in a different way, and I would have.
Right? Yeah, I honestly wasn't a huge fan of. Some of them were kind of cool. I didn't like the one that had the two faces. I think Albin was wearing. Like when he picked that up, I was thinking, really? That's the one? I thought that was kind of dumb looking.
Like I think if they were more Eyes Wide Shut-ish, that would have been much more interesting to me. But I mean, they obviously can't copy Eyes Wide Shut. But yeah, so there's just like a
They
little.
copy Slipknot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it looks like to
So-
me. Especially Corey Taylor's old, mask they had like in 2004 or something.
Mhm.
But
But yeah, I think overall this movie's really good.
yeah,
I like
is that like maybe your only complaint right there with some of the
Yeah,
the mask and some of the other stuff?
Yeah, I would say some of the props,
Props,
some of the masks, you know, just little bits like that
Gotcha.
add that turn a movie into a whole world.
Yeah.
That's it. But
So all right, I guess. So yeah, you don't know anything else.
that's pretty much all I got. Great movie. Watch it if you like horror movies.
Yeah.
Or weird movies. Probably if you like weird movies, you'll like this movie.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll give my. I mean, you might have already given your final thoughts, but
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and give my final thoughts at least before we get the ratings. So I will be honest. I didn't like this movie whenever we rewatched it. I didn't like this movie as much as the first time. Like I first saw this movie, I thought it was crazy, fucked up. I mean, I still do, but
Yeah.
but like but in a good way. Kind of like how like some of the David Lynch movies I like, and whatnot. Just weird, fucked up movies, but in a good way. That's how I felt about the first time I saw it. And then on rewatch, I did kind of find myself a little bit bored in some moments.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. Like, I mean, it's definitely not a boring movie because of all the weird shit. But like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the pacing in some scenes and like how it's kind of slow. And that's actually how I felt about the two Cronenberg movies I have seen.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think I might have already said this already in the beginning of this, but I did find Naked Lunch to be pretty slow and kind of boring at times.
Oh, yeah.
And although I found this more entertaining than Naked Lunch and even Videodrome, but actually Videodrome, I don't know if I found it boring, but I don't know. I just found it almost uninteresting, except for like the third act. I think was kind of piquing my interest, but then it just ended, and I'm like, that's it.
See,
Because it's a really short movie.
I'm a first and second act guy with that movie. The third act, I'm kind of underwhelmed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've only seen it once. I just remember the third act being kind of cool, and then
Yeah.
I didn't really care for the first two acts, but I gotta watch it again though. But anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I did kind of, I will say though, talking about this movie in this episode kind of makes me appreciate the movie a little more.
Me too.
Like I appreciate it. I think it's a very, very cool story, very interesting story, and weird as fuck. And like I kind of like the story better than the movie. I think. Yeah, and I would actually be curious if what it would be like if David did this in like the 90s.
Oh, it would have been
like, or even late 80s.
I think it would have been really fun. Like,
yeah. But I mean, I don't know if I would like it because I do happen to like this movie better than the two David Cronenberg movies I have seen. But like I still do even on second watch. But I don't know. It's just one of those things, I guess, where you watch a movie for the first time, it blows your mind and whatnot. You love it, and then like the second time you watch it, it doesn't have the same impact. Even if you still like it, it doesn't have the same impact. That's actually what it was for me with a movie we did Last Night in Soho. I loved it the first time, and in fact, I'm trying to remember. I think I gave it a 9 when I very first saw it, and like I loved the shit out of it. I even in my original Edgar Wright ranking, I rated as number 2, and but then whenever I watched it again with you, I was like, and I definitely saw some issues too.
yeah,
Which I mean, with this, I didn't really see very much issues. It was just me. Like it wasn't the movie's fault. It was just me. Like maybe I wasn't all into the headspace, and I, I still remember certain stuff that I already knew was going to happen and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I still like this movie, and you want to go ahead and jump into the ratings?
Yeah.
Or okay, well, I'll say mine after yours since this is your first time.
Okay. Drum roll. If we could give half votes, I would. I would give this an 8.5.
Oh, okay.
But since we do whole votes, I give it an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this movie, but it doesn't quite transcend into the holy land of 9 and 10 ratings. But I hope he keeps working on, or has fun and keeps making art, because I think he's really good at it.
Yeah. I believe it was Ex Machina that when we saw that, you gave it a 7, I think, and you said it wasn't quite on the level for 8 for you.
Yeah.
I think, was it Ex Machina? Or
probably.
Is it there or Whiplash? But no, I think you liked Whiplash better, didn't you?
I like Whiplash better than Ex Machina, and I
Yeah.
like this better than Whiplash.
Oh, okay. All right. Quick question though: this or The Whale?
I'm in this movie because I mean
I
it lines up with what my
Are
brain
two
thinks
different
all the
movies,
time.
anyways. But
Yeah,
still.
yeah, it lines up with my everything I like pretty
Yeah.
much. Clones, foreign countries,
Right.
two of my favorite things.
Yeah. Okay, so you said 8
Yeah,
for this.
yeah, I give it
Okay.
8.
All right, so I'm gonna give it a 7.
Mhm.
Now, like you said though, you said if we were to do, half stuff, I would say 7.5
Yeah.
because originally, whenever we first saw this and I rated it on Letterboxd, I was like, on Letterboxd you have star ratings, but like for example, 3.5 stars, that means 7 out of 10 for me. That's like how I do it whenever I rate movies on Letterboxd. But I was originally I was just thinking 7 whenever I first. Whenever I rewatched this, I did originally when I first saw this movie. It was an 8, but on rewatch, whenever we watched it, I was just thinking 7, and but now since we were talking about it and it gave me a new appreciation for it, I'm like, okay, I would say 7.5.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we don't really say a half, but unless you want to, but that's what I would do, is 7.5. So it's a high 7.
Yeah,
it's all
yeah.
low 7. I think I might have been thinking mid 7 originally, not low, but yeah, not I wouldn't say low, but it definitely would be high now. Like, sometimes that's just how it happens. Like, your opinion might change just about thinking about it. You know? Like that happens to me all the fucking time now. Whenever I might watch a movie like only once, and I might not like it as much whenever the very first time I watch it, but then I'm thinking on them and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like it now. I'm like, I watch a lot of like movie reactions on YouTube too, and I don't count that as like another watch, because I'm not watching the entire film. I'm just watching someone else reacting to it. But of like watching them react to it and whatnot, and like seeing the stuff from the movie in that video, I'm like, okay, yeah, this movie's actually pretty damn good, and so I might change the rating without even actually watching the movie. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Right.
I've only seen Leon the Professional only once, and that's in my top 100 favorite films, like maybe in the top 50 actually, even though I've only seen it once, like the actual film. But I've seen like reactions and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, this movie's fucking great. We've even been talking about doing that one sometime.
Yeah.
I've been wanting you to see that movie. I remember you borrowed it for me once and didn't watch it, much like me with Scanners.
Yeah, I was like, I probably can watch this.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Actually, yeah, that's a really interesting movie too, because there's some kind of odd stuff in that film that kind of is a little,
Questionable.
yeah, you'll know whenever
Yeah.
you watch it. But I feel like it's a movie that does need to be talked about. I talked about some of that stuff on my channel anyways, but yeah, we did. You want to do that one next?
Sure.
Okay, unless
Okay.
you got any movies you want to show me.
I don't think I have any new ones
Okay.
to share. Yeah.
All right.
I'm done.
I was originally thinking Sideways, but I kind of feel like you're gonna like Leon better in Sideways anyway. So yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We haven't even.
Leon.
We'll do Leon
Leon.
next. Leon the Professional. I'm actually looking
Leon.
forward to that. That's a good one. But all right. So anyways, so you said 8 and I said 7. All right. So there we go.
Solid score.
Yeah.
Solid scores. Brandon Cronenberg, you passed the test.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. Infinity Pool. That's a reaction or review for Infinity Pool. Your Cousins Are Critics, episode 7. Teen.
Got your bag.
I don't know why it said 7.
Teen.
Oh, like teen. That's what it was.
17. Wow.
That's funny.
Yeah,
But anyway, so yeah, look out for episode 18 of Leon the Professional, and yeah, that should be good. That should be
18
really
is
good.
also the legal age of an adult, which might have something.
Ironic.
Which might have something to do with this movie.
Ironic. I will say, it's not as disturbing as you would think it is. Like, it actually is.
Okay.
You should see whenever we watch the movie.
Okay.
There's going to be some stuff, but you'll see. You'll
Okay.
see. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, look out for that. Hopefully sometime soon. In the next at least 2 weeks, maybe.
Word.
We'll see. We'll see how.
Yup.
We'll see whenever you're free. Your work schedule.
Christmas is around the corner, so
Oh,
they're
shit.
freaking out. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But anywho,
Yeah, so you might be busy for a while. But
yeah.
it's kind of how it was. Well, I mean, there was other stuff going on before.
lot of other
the,
stuff,
The
yeah.
Halloween stuff and whatnot. Like, yeah. But, anyways. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed. I know it's kind of long, but we usually at least keep it under 30, an hour 30, and it's not there yet, so we're good.
We're freaking good.
So, all right. So I was just looking at your face or something. I don't know. It just looked
I've
funny.
made so many weird faces during this episode. It's been fun.
I've actually seen some of our older episodes, and like some of the looks that you give made me laugh.
Good. That's funny.
But yeah. All right. All right. So, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please your smile. So yeah, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the bell. And we'll see you next time. I'll see you next time for whatever my next video will be. But we'll see you next time on Leon the Professional, episode 18. Episode 18.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember? 17. Yeah. And we'll see how it goes. If it'll be video or audio, we'll see. But yeah. All right. So we'll see you later.
Bye bye.
All right. Peace.
Brianna.